Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Patrice and we'll be discussing things I've read recently. And now, let's get started. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 4 books. The first will be a cozy mystery and it's titled The New Hercule Poirot Mystery and the Mystery of Three Quarters. And this is by Sophie. And this is one of the books that I found at the Salvation Army. I made a video about my journey going on a book hunt there. And this is the review of that book that I found. The overview. 4 people have received letters from Hercule Poirot accusing them of the murder of Barnabas Pandy. But Poirot himself hasn't sent these letters and must now figure out who was Barnabas Pandy, was he murdered, and who sent the letters. So again, you guys know I love cozy mysteries, right up my alley. This book, I liked it because it was written like Agatha Christie style. And of course, you know, it's with one of her most famous characters. The mystery, there was a slow build up and the ending was pretty satisfying. But the main thing, I did not like many of the characters in the book except for Poirot and Catchpool, which is the detective that he helps in the story. And there was like a side quest, like a side mystery with like someone stealing a cake recipe, and we never got any resolution of that side quest. So we don't know what happened. We don't know if the thief that stole the recipe was confronted or not. So I enjoyed this book just because, you know, it was classic Agatha Christie style mystery. So I did like it and I gave it a 4. The next book is called Lovers and Liars, and this is by Amanda Ward. And this is a contemporary romance. And you guys know, if you've watched previous videos, I am not a romance person. I don't typically like reading that genre of book. But I don't know. I was intrigued by the overview, and I'll read a little bit now. 3 sisters, Cleo, Sylvie, and Emma, reunite for a destination wedding at an English castle. Secrets, drama, and a toxic mother threaten to destroy this happy occasion. So I'll give you what I liked about the book first. So it was written from multiple viewpoints. So we got to read about each sister's viewpoint of the story and like what each of them had going on in their own lives and how they thought about all the drama that was unfolding for this destination wedding. So I did like that. I like being in each of their heads. The dislikes, and it's a long list. Well, not a long list, but there were way more dislikes than likes. I did not like the sisters at all. I didn't like them. I did not like them. There was nothing redeemable about any of them. And that is just my opinion, but they were just not likable at all. And because I did not like them, I did not care if any of the issues from the story was resolved. And I will say the first half of the story started off pretty slow, and the second half picked up. The ending, it was okay. Generic ending. You probably could have figured out how it was going to end. So yeah, because of all of those dislikes, I only gave this one a 3 stars. The next book is A Talent for Murder by Peter Swanson. Now, I've seen like a few people have reviewed Peter Swanson books, and I do not know why I didn't make the connection. I don't know, But when I picked this one up, like I was like, oh wow, this seems like this is going to be very interesting. So this is a mystery thriller. And the overview: Martha is a newlywed librarian that begins to suspect her husband Alan is a murderer. Martha investigates the cities Alan's visited over the past year and uncovers a pattern of 5 unsolved cases of murdered women. Martha contacts an old friend, Lily, for advice. Lily offers to meet Alan to find out what kind of man he really is, but what she uncovers is more perplexing than they expected. So I really like this book. I did. So there were so many twists and turns that it kept you on your toes. It was a pretty easy read. I got through it pretty quickly. The only thing on my dislike side, I felt like I was missing like a lot of Lily's backstory, and come to find out, this is like the 3rd book in the series. So I didn't know that. I had no clue. So then I had to go back. Like after I read it, I'm like, are there more books with Lily in it? Like, am I missing something? So yes, so this is the 3rd book in the series, and I did go back and I saw that Lily is in another book. It's like Lily is in the 1st book, and then the detective is in the 2nd book, and this 3rd book, they're both in it. Um, so I feel like, I don't know, like this felt like it was a standalone, but because of Lily being in it, it made me feel like I needed to read that 1st one. So I do have the 1st one from the series, and I am going to read it. But just because of that, like you can still follow along with what's going on in the story. Um, but yeah, that just added like a whole nother layer. Like I just felt like, okay, I'm missing something here. What's going on? But the story was still enjoyable. Um, some parts were predictable. Like I guess, like halfway through, like there was some foreshadowing of like who the guilty person was. So if you're paying attention, you'll pick up on that. And then the ending, like in the second half of the book, like Lily's been on top of stuff like this whole time, and then she makes like one like dumb move, and it's like, well, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? And it kind of sets up like the second half, so it's like she kind of has to do it, but it's like you just wouldn't do that. Like everything that led up to that, like you would be paying attention. Like you would not get caught slipping like that. So that annoyed me. And yeah, other than that, I gave the book 4.5 stars. So it was pretty good. I did like it. It did keep me guessing until the end. So I enjoyed that. The last book is The Blackbird Oracle by Deborah Harkness, and this is a fantasy novel. This is book 5 of the All Souls series featuring Diana Bishop and Matthew de Clermont, and they were first introduced in A Discovery of Witches. So there is a TV show that was made from the first 3 books, and it's on Netflix right now. So actually, I read the first 3 books like years ago. So I was so happy like that this one came out that I immediately picked it up at the library, and I watched the show so that I could kind of refresh my memory about what happened in the books. In this book, Diana and Matthew receive a formal demand from the congregation to test the magic of their 7-year-old twins, Pip and Rebecca. Diana decides to forge a different path and visit a great aunt she's never met. At Ravenswood, Diana confronts her family's dark past and trains in higher magic. So the things I liked, I love the All Souls trilogy. So like I said, I was so excited to get this book and read it and like devour it. So that was one thing I liked. And then I liked meeting the Proctor side of Diana's family. So this is like her dad's side of the family. And in the other books, she really had a focus on her mother's side of the family. So this was nice getting to meet like her aunts and cousins from her dad's side. The things I did not like. So the second half of the book fell flat. It was very disappointing. There were so many like new concepts that were introduced that were not well explained, and made it hard to figure out like why they were important. Like, why did you need to put all of this stuff in the story? Um, Especially about the higher magic. So that wasn't really explained properly. Like, why is higher magic like so taboo or so important to the witches in the story? And in this book, Matthew and Diana, they were very annoying. I did not like them. It just seemed like the characters were, I guess, regressing instead of progressing. So Diana, like, she's supposed to be this all-powerful witch, and she has all these powers and magical ability, and it just seems like she did nothing. Like, this book is like 7 years after the last book in the trilogy, and it just seems like they have been doing nothing this whole time. They have made no advancements in Diana's magic. Like, it seems like she hasn't even been using this so-called higher magic. Well, she chose the higher magic path in the Book of Life, which was the last book in the series. Like, she made a decision to learn about it, and it seems like she's done nothing. Like, she hasn't even been using the little bit of magic that she already knows. And Matthew, he wasn't very likable in the other books. Like, it was just like he's so intense, but in this book he was more of like a secondary character. Like, we didn't really even get much of his input. This was really like from Diana's point of view, and they were just annoying because like we knew the congregation was coming to test these children. Like, you knew, like, you've been studying like the genetics of Diana and her family and all of these things, and it's like you guys still have no answers. Like, you did not prepare for this. And they made it seem like the testing of the children was going to be like this whole like big thing, and it was nothing. Like, it took like 2 pages of reading, like, once they got to it, and it's like, okay, what does this mean? Like, you tested the children, but you didn't tell us anything about, like what it meant or anything. Like, it was just so frustrating. So very disappointed. Like, guys, when I tell you disappointed, like, after I got to the end, because the ending was just tragic. It was like a cliffhanger ending, and I hate those. I need stuff buttoned up. I need you to give me everything. If you can't give me like everything in this story, at least, give me a somewhat tidy ending. And we got nothing. This is just like a straight up cliffhanger. Like, nothing was resolved. And it was so bad. Like, when I got to the end, I just threw the book. I threw it. It's a library book. I know. I was reading in bed, so the book was not harmed, but I did throw it. I just had to get it out of my presence. It was crazy. So, very disappointed with this book. Very, very disappointed. I still gave it a 3.7, and I guess some people would round it up to 4, but I'm not rounding it up. And I'll probably just give it a 3.5 because it was crazy. Yeah, absolutely disappointed. And that is it for my books in this video. If you have read any of these books, and just let me know what you thought about them, and give me some recommendations on what I should read next. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye bye.